What's up, people? How's everybody been doing? I hope all of you have been looking after yourselves, keeping yourself safe, and doing all the things that are necessary, towards that end. As usual, it's 7:45 and I'm off the clock and headed home. I'm still yet to, find the perfect solution for some of the audio woes. I think I said in the previous blog that, I can probably overcome the wind noise related issues by positioning the mic slightly differently, but the results said otherwise. So I'm back to my initial position. I mean, the mic is back where it was. And the reason for that is, anywhere other than that, I found that the mic captured my breathing sounds, which isn't particularly nice to listen to. So with that, I thought, okay, let's go back to square one. And I reckon I probably need to get a dead cat. That thing that comes, So once I find some time and check out some reviews, I'll probably get that. And I'm hoping that, once get that and place the mic inside it, I should be able to eliminate the stray sounds that keep coming in. Good to see public transport. Must be ferrying employees of their essential services, so which is good. So yeah, welcome to another video. I know I've been talking a lot about my setup, or at least trying to figure out the correct setup, but I guess that is expected. I mean, the teething issues that I'm facing, but I guess that is to be expected, at least initially. But let's see. So in yesterday's video, I hope, those who are tuned in, which at the moment is nobody, but then again, let's see. I'm optimistic, as I said before. So in yesterday's video, I was speaking about the incident about the RAN aircraft being forced to land due to Belarusian interference. So the international clamor against it is steadily growing, and I think the Canadian head of state, Trudeau, came out pretty strongly against it, and I think current consensus is that such acts are considered as attacks on democracy. So I've also read that the Belarusian head of state Alexander is considered the last European dictator, and there is growing resistance which he's been able to suppress so far successfully. But okay, let's see if they stop me. So yeah, so he's been able to suppress them pretty effectively using the means at his disposal. So much so that in the recent elections, the leading opposition candidate against him fled the country after the elections, fearing for her life. So yeah, the situation is grave, but as it is with every situation, there are supporters and there are opposition factors. So whichever is stronger at that moment in time prevails. So the current head of state of Belarus is in a stronger position, so he is prevailing. But with the recent incident, with the growing international pressure, things could change. So I'll keep an eye on that, because we live in a connected world, an integrated world, with a global supply chain for our goods and our experiences. So an effect there, something that might or that can happen in Belarus, its effects can ripple across the globe. So yeah, being a connected world, we should watch out for all these things. I think the Suez Canal issue, wherein the transporter Evergreen got stuck, and its effects everybody could feel, So the another thing which could illustrate, the global connectedness is again, what to do with the correct pandemic. It originated in China, but slowly the disease spread its tentacles all across the globe, and has in addition to the harm it wreaked by killing scores of people across the globe, it has also affected global supply chains. Case in point being the semiconductor industry. I don't know how many of you have noticed, but there is a severe shortage of semiconductors, which has impacted many industries. Nowadays, electronic sub-assemblies, electronic systems have invaded, almost all aspects of our lives. And one of the important aspects of our lives is automobiles. So due to severe shortage of semiconductors, a lot of automobile factories, their annual turnover or production levels have significantly come down. There aren't that many vehicles available in the market due to this factor. So it again goes on to show, how one aspect or one event could trigger a plethora of effects across the globe. So yeah, we should watch out for such events of significance, because we don't know how it might play out, positive or negative, but for sure it might and it will have a bearing on how things work or function across the globe. I hope some of you are good readers. So I recently heard or came across this book called The Fourth Turning. So the authors of the book, this is what I heard about it. I have not completely read. Could be a good read. So basically, the authors of the book scored through the complete timelines of American history, and they basically divided their entire timeline into periods of 80 years, and these 80 years are further subdivided into blocks of 20 years. I've heard, I don't recall the exact terminology, but I heard someone telling me, so probably once I go through the book I should be able to get the exact terminologies. But these periods or blocks, every 20 years, which add up to 4 spans, or 4 20 years, which add up to 80 years, is one cycle of historical events which then repeat themselves. That's what those authors found. So these 80 years have been divided into periods of 20 years of highs, 20 years of awakening, 20 years of unraveling, and 20 years of crisis. So the current span of 80 years, as per what someone was telling me, ends in 2030, and the span of 80 years began somewhere after the World War II ended. So the period after the 20 years after the period of the 20 years after World War II, at least as per the authors it seems, is a period of great high for American society, United States in general, because they had good distribution of wealth, and somebody, let's say he was an electrician, he could work hard and make enough money to own a home. Such was their state. And then that's what I heard. I probably need to read more, but the reason why I brought it up is, can we study our history and identify such patterns? That's what today's technology is all about, big data, small data, AI, machine learning, identification of patterns. Can we identify these patterns? Anyway, I'll go through the book and probably see if I can correlate with our history. So that's my 2 cents for today, and I'll leave you guys with this book, The Fourth Turning. Check it out and see if it interests you guys. So with that, I'll take your leave, and I hope to catch some of you in the next one. So with that, adios muchachos. Take care of yourselves. Do all the things that are necessary and be well. Until next time, peace out.